So welcome everyone. I see the number of participants is increasing at the moment. So you're all dropping into this online information session today about economics and business economics, bachelor's program at our University of Amsterdam. Welcome everyone. Good afternoon or good evening or good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. Right. So I think we can start the presentation from now on. I'm your moderator, by the way, for today. My name is Danny, and I'm one of the study advisors of the faculty. Today with me is our program director of this program, Economics and Business, Sneha.
Hi.
Welcome. Besides that, we have two students. First of all, we have Raluca.
Hi.
Hi. And also Timofey.
Hello.
So welcome to you. So Raluca and Timofey will share their personal perspectives on their studies so far, which can also be really valuable to prospect students. Besides that, we have my colleague, Alain Dankers.
Hello.
Great.
Hello.
Alain is also here, and he will be joining the Q&A as well. So he'll be answering part of the questions. And besides that, we also have our team of admissions officers. They will be working on your questions on the background, the questions regarding admissions and eligibility. Yeah, so feel free to ask those questions as well. So yeah, I think for now we can start the rest of the presentation, and Sneha, I'll give you the word.
Thank you, Danny. So hello all, welcome. As Danny said, my name is Sneha Gaddam, and I am the program director of BSc Economics and Business Economics. So first I'll be beginning with the structure of the program. So this is the roadmap. The program consists of 3 years, and each year is broken down into 2 semesters, and that means in a total there are 6 semesters. So the bachelor's program has one foundational part. It's called the core part, and this provides the foundational knowledge in both fields of economics and business economics. Furthermore, along the line, you'll also be training your analytical skills and statistical skills, right? That's very important for a study in economics and business economics. And what you'll be seeing is in year 2, at the end of semester 2, you will be choosing a major between economics and business economics. So at the end of first semester, you'll be choosing this major. So a benefit of this type of structure where you have a foundational part and then divide between the majors is that you don't have to choose a major immediately as you join. You can postpone that decision until a while, until you get some training in both parts and then realize your choice. This gives you an opportunity to, learn your interests more. What are the differences? What are the basic trainings? And the different, which will, by the way, is appreciated by future employers. All right. Okay. So let's get into in-depth in each of the years and what they consist. So the foundational part of which is year 1, so both semesters. So you have 6 blocks. So period 1 and period 2 are blocks of 8 weeks, and period 3 is a smaller block, which is for 4 weeks. So in the large blocks, you have a mix of economics and business economics courses, as you can see on the screen, principles of economics and business, the foundational courses in micro and macro and statistics and maths, and you have a bit of financial accounting and finance, and you also have some markets and organization, which is micro foundational theory. However, you'll also have some business-oriented theories in them. And then you have the smaller blocks. So in the first semester, you receive training in academic writing. We are writing essays and doing different tracks and principles of economics and business economics. And then in period 3, your research skills are trained. So keep in mind that quantitative and analytical skills are very important in economics and also business economics. So therefore, it's important that you find mathematics interesting, right? Because it will be an important element of this program. So we do offer a challenging program, so you must be willing to put some effort and time into it. All right, so let's get into what's interesting in this program. So most programs in economics and business economics offer quite similar courses. But what is the distinguishing factor here is that already in the first semester, you're going to be exposed to guest lectures and you will start writing essays. So the course Principles of Economics and Business 1 in each week discusses a topic in the field. For example, how do individuals make choices, economic choices? How can you motivate people? So what incentivizes them? How do firms operate? So in each week, there's a guest lecture of a top economist specialized in their topic. And these top economists are also active in academia, in industry, and governmental bodies, right? So furthermore, students are also exposed to seminal papers in the different fields that you're exposed to, and you have to write essays, which stimulates your academic thinking and builds your writing skills. Okay. So now let's move on to year 2 and what you can expect in year 2. So in the second year of the bachelor's program, as mentioned earlier, the first semester of year 2 is combined still. It's still part of the joint foundational program. In the second semester, students choose a major or in between economics or business economics. So as you can see, in the first semester, you'll all still be getting some foundation in econometrics, money and banking, and advanced intermediary statistics, I would say, and a course in international money and finance. And in the smaller block, you will learn about economic methodology, which, by the way, is very useful when you follow certain courses and do your thesis. All right. So the part where you choose the major, so what are the differences in economics and business economics major is that you see if you follow a major in economics, you will be doing, you'll be building upon the beginner courses that you have taken in micro, mathematics, and macroeconomics, in addition to which you will have game theory. On the other hand, if you choose to major in business economics, what you'll be doing is you will build upon courses like finance and management accounting, and you will have corporate law, and you will also be introduced to game theory in the form of strategy. So the differences are subtle, so beware that both majors will involve you getting to learn some game theory because it is widely applicable in fields of economics and business economics. And in both majors, you have the opportunity to do a research lab tailored to the specific major. All right. So let's move to the next most interesting part is when you get to select what you do best, which are tailored to your interests, which is in year 3. So you get to make up your timetable. So here you have freedom to choose between internship, study abroad, minor. These are all the options that you have available. And that's in the first semester. In the second semester, you will be doing a specialization based on the major of your choice, right? So let's get into each of these options first. So UvA offers an opportunity of an internship where you can gain some practical experience before you move into the labor market, if that's your choice after doing a bachelor's. Secondly, you can also decide to spend a semester abroad, and University of Amsterdam has many partner universities all over the world, and studying abroad gives you an opportunity to experience another educational system, different culture, right? And thirdly, you have an opportunity to do a minor. So minor is something like a structured program where you can broaden your knowledge in something that's that you're interested in, that you're curious about, something that's connected to your studies, like a minor in sustainability and economics. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can also be something completely different, like a minor in art history. So it all depends on what you're curious about, right? So what is important is that the first semester gives you the opportunity to choose what fits your interest best. And in the second semester, you will follow specialization courses within your chosen specialization. So let's look at the different majors separately. So if you follow a major in economics, it is tailored around learning the use and allocation of scarce and alternatively applicable resources, which equip you with the tools to learn about economic decision-making of individuals. You can also learn about decision-making of firms and countries treated as, again, in an individual sense, right? And thereby you can learn more about the implications of these decision-making to the economic policy. So in courses like game theory, you get some tools to see how different firms can compete and what are the outcomes, can they do better? And you have courses like advanced or intermediate, I would say, micro and macroeconomics, where you will further your understanding of the theoretical underpinnings of different decision makings in these settings. Okay, and the specialization courses available are just related to economics, and you also have choice of electives later on in the third year. If you choose to major in business economics, on the other hand, as opposed to individual decision-making, you will be learning about firm decision-making, but the focus is more on investment and financing decisions. You will learn more about measuring and reporting of information and how a firm is organized internally, and what are the driving factors that incentivize employees to do certain things or quit, etc. So the specializations available here are threefold. So you can either choose accounting and control, then you'll get specialization courses tailored to that, or you can choose finance, or you can choose organizational economics, where you will receive courses tailored to that. All right. So finally, you might have a question. Well, then what's the difference? What should I choose? Should I go for business administration or should I go for business economics? The thing is, it's a matter of your preference. So both business administration and business economics programs are about solving business programs. However, the focus using which you solve these problems is different. So in business administration, the focus is quite multidisciplinary, and it's focused on managerial, and it's kind of a broad program. Business economics, or having a bachelor's in EBE, on the other hand, focuses a bit more in a monodisciplinary sense. So the focus is more of surrounding economics, and you will learn a lot of theories and think in an analytical way. And if you're choosing a major in business economics, then the focus is on financial aspects. All right. So to summarize what I've said so far, we do offer a solid education in economics and business economics in this program. And we provide you kind of a toolbox that you can apply in your master's or professional career. And our students have a very good track record, and they have very good career perspectives. So after graduation, most of our students continue with a master, but we notice that increasing number of students who are deciding to go to labor market postpone their decision of master for a while, so that they gain some experience on the field first. So remember that any large firm needs a good economist, but also governmental institutions are in need of good economists. So we have students working in companies like PricewaterhouseCoopers, Willis Towers Watson, KPMG, Dutch National Bank, and many other organizations you see here. So throughout your studies, you're regularly exposed to potential future employers. So the study associations also organize career events, giving students a wide opportunity to interact with potential prospective employers, I would say. So furthermore, we also invite companies, and we involve them actively in providing guest lectures in some of the courses. So with the skills that you acquire during your bachelor's program here, we hope that you become a valuable asset for any large company or a governmental institution. So it's time for a question and answer session now. I'll give the word to Danny.
Thank you, Sneha. Yeah, so we have a question from Rose, and it actually has a couple of sub-questions.
Okay, sure.
Maybe some of them are more relevant for you than for others. But the first one is, how many contact hours are there a week, divided into lecture hours and working group hours?
Right. For a typical course, you have 2 contact hours for a lecture, 2 for feedback, and feedback is really course coordinator dependent. They might do Q&A there, or they might do academic papers or extra stuff, and then 2 hours for tutorial. So this is a typical structure. But for some courses, you might have 2 tutorials where we think deeper focus on the topics is necessary, like mathematics, for example. So there you will have 2 contact hours for lecture, 2 for feedback, 2 for tutorial, 2 for a larger tutorial where you can ask all your questions.
So that answers the first one. And can you tell us something about following lectures online, or maybe whether they're recorded, yes or no?
So we have a requirement that we provide recorded lectures for first years. And I highly recommend attending lectures and tutorials, But for second and third years, it's optional. However, increasing number of teachers do make recordings and knowledge clips available.
By the way, for all of you, this is one of the first couple of Q&As. If your question is not answered now, we might come back to them later, but we have a couple of Q&As later on as well. Another question, perhaps, is it possible to work online with your working group?
Is it possible to work
online?
Online.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure how that would work out. Maybe the students later can answer, but if it's a take-home assignment, for sure you can congregate online or offline. But if it's in-class activity, obviously we expect you on campus.
Yeah, and I think the last question is something that I can answer. Question is, can you take 2 bachelor's programs at the same time? Yes, it's possible, but it requires some planning. Normally, you won't start 2 batches at the same time because of the binding study advice requirement. But if you're hesitating about taking 2 bachelor's programs, please visit the study advisors, and we can help you further with that. Let's see, students answering this. Interesting question, Sneha. How do you apply, or do you apply the so-called problem-based learning education technique?
So in the courses that I teach, I can speak for myself, and indeed we do apply a lot of problem-based learning technique. We have theories, microeconomic underpinnings of certain problems taught in the lecture, and then followed by a tutorial where you have problem-based, application-oriented like problem sets, and then you have feedback lecture based on that. If students have more inputs or questions,
Another question from Justus. Do most graduates go into the private or public sector in the labor market?
I don't have the statistics on this, actually. Does anyone have numbers here? But I assume they're going into private based on anecdotal evidence I have, But master students do tend to go to public sector.
Okay. A specific question about corporate law from Sophie, if you can elaborate.
I'll do my best, yeah.
Well, that's basically the question. What is corporate law?
Oh, what is corporate law?
Yeah.
So corporate law, most of my students here followed that. So they say they have theories that they learn about law in corporations, big corporations, but they also have, I believe, practical knowledge given by lawyers themselves. Yeah.
Thank you. Rather interesting.
Our students will be very happy to elaborate on that. Yeah.
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 Well, maybe we can ask them later on.
Yeah.
Interesting question here from Felipe. How do you think that artificial intelligence will affect employability of students from this program? Interested in EBE, but fear that AI will be able to perform equally or better in the future with the skills that this course provides.
Great. Interesting question indeed, Danny. Thank you. So actually, we had a meeting once with master's program directors and people from ING, Booking.com. So indeed, where our students go to work later on. And they very much emphasize that we still need people, even if there is AI. So what they're doing in their companies is that they're all now learning how to give good prompts to ChatGPT, learning how to use something that beats ChatGPT. And so all the newer, possibilities of AI. So the training that we provide here, I would say so far I don't know about the courses that other programs offer, whether there is AI specific, but not so far in economics and business economics. However, we are very much interested in looking into that. So talks are underway. Yeah.
So there is no need to worry for students.
I don't think there is any need to worry as far as employability is concerned, but the world is changing at a fast pace. So I'm not sure what would be more popular tomorrow versus what is more popular today. So that could change. However, I would not worry about employability as such. So we are competing in the world market just with any other university in the Netherlands and also outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. In the meanwhile, I got a confirmation from one of our students that there will be an elaboration of corporate law later on. So
yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Timofey. Yeah.
Question regarding housing. I think I can answer for most of the part. It's a question from Fayaz. Since there is an ongoing housing crisis in the Netherlands, are there good chances of securing university dorm for international bachelor students? And will the university assist me in finding housing on the private market while avoiding scams in the case I'm unable to secure any before my classes start? Well, there is a service offer from the university. It will be part of the application procedure. So if you are looking for a place and you want the university to assist you in that, that's possible. Fortunately, there's no guarantee. And if that doesn't work, then I'm not quite sure whether university can assist you in finding housing in different ways. But I'm sure you can reach out to them and they can, they can offer some alternatives to you. But yeah, avoiding scams, I think, is an interesting challenge. So please, yeah, be aware of that. Let's see. Yeah, oh yeah, about the number of students. How many students are there at this program, Sneha? You know.
In EBE, at the moment, we have 960, if I believe. So this is a roundabout number, not necessarily. So this year it has shot up. Last time it was 880. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And the second part is maybe something that the admissions office can reply, but maybe they don't have the numbers either. What is the acceptance ratio? I think that's a really broad question to answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, there is also, by the way, regarding the question about housing, this is like one of the topics that is really, important especially for international students, obviously. There is a online session as well about studying in Amsterdam. Will be next week, and they will discuss housing as well, amongst others. Okay. Let's see if we still have time for a couple of questions. Yeah, a question from Amani, Sneha. What is essay writing like? For example, how many per week, per semester, and how much time is spent on that?
So for sure, there are essay writing in every week one in the tutorials of principles and of economics and business. And as part of group assignments in your specialization courses, you will also be doing that. But there aren't, to my knowledge, many second-year courses that have that. The requirement there is a bit low. But later, Timofey and Rauka can confirm if something changed and you have some assignments in the second year. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think let's see if there's one more question that we can answer. This is maybe an interesting from Shanita. Do you have examples of jobs where graduates go to and what they do there?
What they do there? I have always been an academic. I was a software engineer for 3 years, so I know what is required there. But speaking to an alumnus of my previous cohorts, they said most of the students are currently working in the companies that are pointed out, KPMG or Dutch National Bank and so on. They're all working on proprietary products of those particular companies. So it could be softwares or it could be packages that the company themselves produce, and students learn that. Sometimes they would be using, for example, regressions, data analysis and stuff that we teach here in order to make sense of things. However, they will always be working on something specific to the company. Yeah, this is the information I got from one of my previous students who's currently working in the Netherlands. Yeah.
Well, hopefully
so suffice it to say, once you join a company, it will involve you learning something that the company owns, which may or may not exist outside of that. So university cannot share that, but you will get that knowledge on the fly. You will receive some knowledge transfer sessions from employees there. You will be put into a team. So this is how the corporate world looks like. So this is combining my experience and my students' experience. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, hopefully that's useful information for this.
Yeah.
So I would like to propose to continue the presentation, and I think next on will be one of our students, which is Raluca, and Raluca will tell you a bit more about her experience so far.
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me well. So my name is Raluca. I'm a third-year bachelor student studying here at University of Amsterdam. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Romania. And today I'm going to talk about my experience, how I ended up choosing this program and the university itself. So I was in your shoes a couple of years ago, and I was searching for universities. I already knew that I wanted to study economics and business. But for example, in my hometown, Bucharest, there was only one university that had programs related to economics. But they only had niche programs in a sense that they were called only finance or only marketing or only accounting. I don't know exactly on which area I wanted to specialize on. So therefore, it was a really tough choice. That's when I started searching for universities abroad and came across this program, Economics and Business. As our course coordinator mentioned earlier, in the first year, basically, you have only mandatory courses, but you do a bit of everything like maths or accounting or macroeconomics, microeconomics. So that was the perfect choice for me, basically, because I was unsure on which area I wanted to specialize on. So therefore, I could postpone my decision later in my bachelor. So that's how I ended up choosing the program. Now I want to talk a bit about how valuable is our university. As mentioned earlier, there are many extracurricular activities that you can participate to. For example, I took part in the study association CEFA, which is one of the biggest study associations in the Netherlands. And I participated to CEFA Career Week. I was in the organizing team, and I had the chance to contact the recruiters and convince them to come to our event at the university. So basically, that's how I got my internship now, because I'm in my in the first semester of my third year, and I'm having an internship. And because I participated to this event, and with the help of the study association and the university, I managed to get this internship. I would also mention that I got help from the study advisors, as well as the UvA Career Center, which helped me organize better my schedule, my study plan, and how to get my credits in time. So that is also really important if you want to do many activities and many courses, but you don't know how to organize them, how to organize your time. You also have these facilities like the study advisors and the career center from UvA, which are there to help you with that. And yeah, moreover, I can also talk a bit about housing because there were many questions about that. My colleague Timofey will also talk about housing, but I just want to mention one quick thing, that in my first year, I got housing from the university. So there's a selection process, you sign up for it. Not everybody that signs up gets the housing, but if you are lucky in the selection, you pay a tax. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but you get in the selection, and then they find you housing as well, which is at a reasonable price, I'll say, and it's a short distance from the university as well, so that's a really good thing. Other than that, after the first year, you are not allowed to stay anymore there, so you have to move, but at least you can secure the first year, because moving to a new city, it will be hard for you, maybe. So that's really helpful. That's another service that the university provides for the first year students. Yeah, so I think that was my presentation. I'll give the microphone to my colleague Timofey to tell you more about his experience as well.
All right, I'm gonna take over from here. Hello, everyone. Good evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you are in the world. I am Timofey. I am also a third-year student of the same bachelor's program as Raluca, well, the one we're discussing today. I chose to specialize in finance. My previous education is the IB diploma program. So for those who are probably not from the Netherlands, if you are coming from abroad, you might be from either a national system or from the British A-levels or from the IBDP. I have previously lived in China before I moved to the Netherlands. I moved in 2021, so roughly 2.5 years ago, at that time still during COVID. I wanted to touch on slightly less academic things because Raluca and Dr. Gaddam already gave us quite a wide introduction into the academics. I want to also touch on a small thing about the admissions, because there was one question that I believe a lot of people at this time in life, when you're just in the end of high school, are worried about. It's the application to all universities. Bear in mind that in the Netherlands, the applications are not as extreme as in other parts of the world. I know that for some countries, it's very stressful, and it really matters a lot where you get into and whether or not you get in. Here, it would be more important to focus on the skill set that you have coming in, and also on consistently performing well during your first year, especially during your first year, in order to actually stay within the degree program and graduate at the end. Because at Dutch universities, and I believe at many other European universities, bachelor's degrees are only 3 years long. So you have to cover quite a lot of content within 3 years. So it's very important to come with a very good and especially quantitative skill set, and also be ready to work consistently. Talking a bit about the social aspect, by the end of my first year, I decided to start learning the local language. I went for a Dutch course, and then I also did one more at the start of my second year. It was a really good experience. I'm very glad that I did it. And as of today, I'm also taking an elective, which is based at the University of Amsterdam, but at the Humanities faculty, the Dutch Culture and Society elective alongside my curricular internship. So just like Raluca, I am taking the elective space that we get in the second part, on the first part of the third year to put a couple of electives and also put a couple of spend time doing the internship. As we mentioned before, and also you probably read up on this, the degree is fully in English, and there's a great social life, and there is also plenty of opportunities that are exclusively in English. You don't have to know Dutch to participate in all of this. However, it is, in my opinion, very important to learn the language of the country, no matter where you move. It also allows you to have a broader social circle. You get to interact with locals a lot. The job opportunities and practical matters become far wider and easier to deal with. Even knowing Dutch at a intermediate level will definitely open a lot of doors and will also help you navigate practical things within your day-to-day life. But of course, bear in mind that a lot of people do function just with English, and it's of course fine. But I've also found plenty of use from learning the local language. Also, by learning the local language and integrating, you get to know a lot of local specifics and peculiarities, which could also be very helpful during your academic career. For example, during my previous block, I also took an elective about real estate finance and urban development. That course allows us to learn a lot of theory, which is covered through textbooks and lectures and so on. But we did have guest lectures, and also during tutorials, we discussed a lot of locally specific things. And this is really helpful, especially when you know local language, when you kind of can orient yourself around society, geography, and so on, when you kind of know the subtle differences of things when you are sufficiently integrated. And it's quite easy to do so if you're proactively interacting with a lot of locals. You definitely make a lot of local friends and international friends in your classes and tutorial groups. I would say that also there's plenty of opportunity to work during your studies. I would probably not advise you to do that during your first year. I didn't do that during the first year because I got the same advice. Because during the first year, you need to adapt yourself to a new place. You need to kind of figure out what kind of study strategy works for you, because obviously this is very different from high school. And this way you will also perhaps take time to make new friends, look for a new house, because as Raluca said, you only have it for the first year. And after you're all set, perhaps taking on a part-time job, be it a very simple job like a waiter at a restaurant, or something more related to your degree, or something more cognitively challenging. All of that is definitely possible. In the Netherlands, part-time employment, be it maybe 12, 16 hours or 24, 32 hours a week, is very much a thing. It is very much accepted here and also advertised by various employers. So that's definitely an option. And also you can take an internship in your third year. Afterwards, once you move on to the job market, or maybe you're considering a master, but you're not sure, bear in mind that in the Netherlands, you're allowed to receive a 1-year search permit, which you can use to search for a job and also work without any restrictions for up to 1 year. And afterwards, you can either proceed and work full-time somewhere, or you can also go back to university and complete your master. To kind of wrap up and also summarize everything into a couple of bullet points for you, keep in mind that you need to be quantitatively ready for EBE. This is something I've also struggled with. It's really important to have a good quantitative skill set. Be ready for a fast-paced learning environment in English, which means that you will need to read academic articles and also perhaps produce content on your own when you're writing something or giving a presentation, also in English. Also, bear in mind Dutch weather. You can see it outside. Right now is 3:40 p.m. and it is already quite dark outside. And it was raining almost all day today. Bear in mind that yeah, if the weather is a very important factor for you, do consider this, of course. The Netherlands is also facing a housing crisis, which we've already brought up during today. It is indeed very difficult to find a home. I currently live in Hoofddorp, which is a village next to the airport. And I commute into Amsterdam for studies and for work. Last but not least, bear in mind that there are lots of job opportunities. Of course, this is something you should consider when you're choosing a study program, but indeed, there are a lot of job opportunities in the Netherlands and also within other parts of Europe. With that, I would probably hand over to Danny. And also, if you have any questions about subject specifics, perhaps myself or Raluca will be able to answer them for you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Timofey and also Raluca. So indeed, now we have a short Q&A part specifically for what we've just heard from the students, or if you have a question specifically for students. I have a couple of them. I made a selection already. Actually, one is specifically for Timofey. Let me see. Where was it again? Do you find the workload in university heavier than that of IB? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, very good question. The way I would answer is it depends. It depends on what kind of subjects you're going to be taking at IB level. What I would say is in the first year, it is perhaps going to feel easier. It's going to feel as in you're not bombarded every day with stuff to do and such. But also bear in mind that procrastinating is very easy to do. So if you don't procrastinate, it will be easier. If you do procrastinate, it will be a similar level. By the time you reach year 2 or year 3, I would say it is certainly more cognitively challenging. And there's also a lot of content because you have to cover an entire subject in 8 weeks. So do consider that it's very fast paced, but also you get to change topics quite quickly.
Thank you, Timofey. Another question, maybe one of the students can also reply on this. How important is math in the course?
I can answer that, for example. Yeah, it's pretty important. For me, it was easier in a sense that in high school, for example, I studied maths and computer science, so I already had a strong mathematical background. However, the pure maths, I don't know if it's necessarily that important because you only studied in the first year and the first block. However, the statistics part, which I think definitely it relates to maths, but it's not exactly maths. It's more important because you do statistics 1, statistics 2, and econometrics as well. Even if you don't have a strong mathematical background, I feel like if you go to the lectures, go to the tutorials, and do the work constantly, because as Timofey mentioned before, even though the block lasts for 2 months and you do 2 courses, it might seem at the beginning that, oh, there are only 2, I can do this, you know, but you're actually going at a faster pace and you finish a whole book of, I don't know, 500, 600 pages in 2 months. So you really have to pay attention to the tutorials and do the work constantly. So less procrastination, I'll say. Yeah.
Very clear. Thank you, Raluca. Can one of you share maybe a typical daily schedule of a first-year student?
Okay, I can share mine. So it depends if you have classes or not. Like my timetable in the first year, from what I remember, on Wednesdays, I didn't have classes at all. But like, yeah, when you have class basically in the morning at 9 a.m., you go to the tutorial. The tutorial lasts for 2 hours. Then usually after that, I go have lunch at the cafeteria with friends. And then after that, we do like a study session of 3 or 4 hours, let's say, and then I just go home, have dinner, and that's it, basically. Obviously, during the exams, it's a bit different because I stay longer at the university, or also I go to the university library, which is in the center of the city, so it's an even nicer setting. At least. So yeah, even though you're stressed, you meet a lot of people there, and you can work in groups, which is really helpful, especially for the exams, as you can ask each other questions and move forward with your work.
Thanks, Raluca. And the second part of this question from V is, can I schedule my timetable, or does the school make it for me? For first year, you will get a timetable. You will get a schedule. Also, another short question for the students. Can you indicate average cost of living per month during second and third year, specifically?
I think for me, it depends really on your rent. I will say like my rent in the first year was around 600 euros. And the living costs, including like everything, eating, hangouts, books as well, I'll say, 700, 800 as well. So that with the rent gives you 1,500 maybe, or 1,200, let's say. It depends obviously on how much you hang out with your friends, or how much you order Uber Eats instead of cooking, you know. But I'll say definitely over 1,000. Hopefully not more than 1,500,
Okay.
including the rent.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Well, I think both of the students also have experience with the class, specifically research lab for business economics. Can one of you elaborate on that?
Sure. About research lab, that's the second year course. That one consists of 3 parts. As you saw in the little diagram that Sneha showed us earlier, it is a course that lasts alongside the previous 2 blocks, and then there's also a full-time bit at the very end. During the first 2 blocks, you will cover a little bit of just economics in general, how usually microeconomic research is conducted, because that is quite easy to put into quantitative data. Macroeconomic research is more complex in that nature. Then you do a little bit of accounting methods. So basically, also, once again, talking about the quantitative bit behind accounting, and also how organizations work with accountancy. The Amsterdam Business School handles that for us. And also at the very end, you have a research finance module where you deal with financial data that you extract from a digital database. And you also perform multiple calculations and computer exercises. And at the very end, there is an exam. But I would like to emphasize that the majority of the grade actually comes from the exam. And this is typical for second year courses and third year courses, where you could have a course, for example, economic methodology only has 1 exam. There's 100% exam and that's it. There are courses, however, that do rely more on group work or on partial assignments, such as the research project in the first year. But do bear in mind that at this university, we do give priority to examinations rather than other forms of assessment.
Thank you, Timofey. So I think for now, that's a good part of the Q&A for the students, so we can continue on to the next part. And this is a part for Sneha.
Yeah, I'll take over. Thank you, Danny, and thank you, Timofey and Raluca. So your experiences are really illuminating, and I hope prospective students got the information they were looking for and more. All right. So yeah, why study economics and business economics at the University of Amsterdam? So I would say that we offer a challenging and interesting program, for which you saw the roadmap earlier, and you've also heard the experiences of our students, where they had a mix of interesting things and challenging things to share with you, which is applicable to anything that you choose. But you also have freedom to choose your study in the third year, and University of Amsterdam has an excellent international reputation. We also have more than 90 nationalities of students studying on campus. They make the environment really lively. And throughout the study period, you will be challenged, but you will also be provided with so many opportunities to connect with your peers and lecturers alike. So we hope that you will be choosing University of Amsterdam. But there are some entry requirements to keep in mind. So you can study economics and business economics at other universities, but I would like to point out that the entry requirements might differ. So here, please keep in mind for University of Amsterdam that there are 3 requirements. You need to have a diploma equivalent to the Dutch VWO. You need to have mathematics proficiency and English proficiency. And please always check the website of UvA for all the entry requirements. So bear in mind that you also have testimonials of students on the website. So this is going to give you the student view on the program, in addition to what you heard now from Raluca and Timofey. And there will also be an opportunity to get a flavor of our education, so you can get in-depth idea of each of the courses and modules that we have. And you can also attend the online experience day that we plan to organize. So more information about this will be available on our website soon, and I hope to welcome you all soon to Amsterdam. So as I pointed out, there are deadlines for the application. So bear in mind that the application deadline for non-EU and EEA students would be 1st April, as opposed to EU students and Netherlands students, where the deadline is 1st May 2024, and exceptions apply in both cases. So please look at the website. And there's also UvA matching that I wanted to talk about, which is an online introduction to the bachelor's program that's just described. So this particular structure is designed to assess whether the program is a good fit for the students. So you can find out more information about this on our website. All right, so I think I will hand over the word to Danny now.
Yeah, so I think we're coming towards the end of today's session. So if you're still hesitating between this program and other programs, you just want to find out more information, please take a look at the information that we have online about this program. You can compare programs, you can join other information sessions, and maybe you can watch back the recordings. I would like to refer you to the experience days that we have coming up soon. For those of you who are in the Netherlands, you can join on campus on the 1st of December, but we also have an online edition on the 4th of December. So take a look on our website for more information and to register. And as Sneha just mentioned, make sure to apply in time. The deadlines are here, 1st of April, 1st of May, depending on, I think, depending on nationality or depending on your diploma. Keep an eye on these dates, and hopefully we can look forward to welcome you in September 2024. So yeah, for the remaining part, we still have a couple of minutes, not so long, but for the last remaining questions that we have in the Q&A part. I think Sneha, I'm not sure whether you can say something about the comparison between the UvA and other universities, but there is a question about the economics and business program here and at Erasmus, and whether
particularly Erasmus, I'm not sure, but indeed I've looked at some of the programs throughout the Netherlands, and I see course content wise economics and business economics has a solid structure if you look everywhere. What I perceive are the differences are sometimes assessment formats. So I see different universities have some differences in, yeah.
Okay. Is there any class in behavioral economics is a question.
Yes. There is an elective course called behavioral economics, which you can choose in your third year. Yeah.
Okay.
But keep in mind that every elective has prerequisites and prior recommended courses that you would have had to complete. So all the information is on the website, but we have a course.
Yeah, thank you. And one question from Ace. A really specific question. Is this a suitable program if you're interested in factor investing?
Factor?
Factor investing, yeah. Are you
I have no idea what factor investing is. Can anyone illuminate me? Apologies, yeah.
Well, if Ace is still joining the session, maybe you can elaborate a bit. Yeah, so that confirms that the question is really specific if our program director is not aware of
Yeah.
factor investing.
Yeah.
But I think that partly answers the question that maybe it's not the right program in that case.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Ace has a follow-up. He says Q5 model from Zhang or the 5-factor model from Fama French.
Oh, I see. Okay. Perhaps some of the courses might introduce you to that, but anyone, Timofey is following a finance specialization. So are you introduced to this, Timofey?
I wanted to say that the factor model by Fama in French, it was briefly mentioned yesterday by Professor Hans van Oppen in his econometrics course, but it was used as an example. It wasn't actually studied in detail. I would probably say that what we're looking at right now is a very niche topic that probably is covered maybe at year 3 or even advanced corporate finance master level. Because the courses you need to take before you get into such high and niche topics, you probably need to study Finance 1 and Finance 2 before moving on there. And Finance 1 is taught in year 1. But probably if you want to specialize in the future, do this program first and then go for a master.
Thank you. And I think, well, let's do the last question. Raluca, you wanted to answer this question regarding housing?
Yeah, because I've already been to the selection in the first year, so that's why I said that I can answer it live. So basically, they open the application around June. So you start school in September. I know that June is pretty late, but that's how it is. That's when they open the application for that. Not all the first year students get a place in their housing. They only have contracts with certain buildings. I don't know exactly how many they get, but I can tell you that around 2,500 people apply, or 3,000, something like that. And only 600, 800 get the place. But that's like from what I heard from other people, I don't have exactly the statistics for it. And it depends on which number are you in the queue. So basically when you sign up for it, you're randomly gonna be placed in the queue. And if you are like number 100, you get a place. If you're number 1,000, probably not, or don't make high expectations for it. But it's worth a try, definitely. Like if you search from before and you find something, then that's okay. But if you don't have anything until June, it's definitely worth a try.
Here, thank you, Raluca. Yeah, so we are at 2 minutes past 4 right now. So I want to thank everyone for your time and your attention for this presentation. I see some thanks coming through the Q&As as well. So yeah, thank you once again. I think we will end the presentation for now, but we'll make sure to answer the last remaining questions in the Q&A. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys soon.